is up? Oh wow, I thought today would be another good day for an impromptu live. I hope everyone is having an amazing holiday, that you're having the opportunity to spend it with family and friends. And if you are by yourself, that you are just taking the opportunity to relax. And even if you are with family and friends, taking the opportunity, of course, to in the downtime after you've eaten and probably have itis by now, um, taking a moment to just remember what you're celebrating, being thankful for the people that are in your life, the opportunities that you've had with life to, to enjoy this journey, to figure life out and to go from there. So, um, I have started the day today just like any other day with getting up, making myself some espresso, and getting into my journal and writing, doing my morning pages, and then doing a little bit of reading. And I will just say that in my reading this morning, there was another breakthrough. And the breakthroughs that I'm talking about from this morning are similar to the other breakthroughs I've had in the most recent months of my healing journey. And more importantly, just the life, self healing, love, discovery, all of those things journey. And I've had opportunities to share in a recent episode on my one of my YouTube channels about what that looks like, what healing looks like, and how do you even begin doing that. And while recording that, I actually had a moment of clarity, a breakthrough moment about something that had challenged me in life and the meaning of that. And it was pertaining to my birthday because it was my birthday that particular day I recorded. And there was an understanding of, um, pain, and how pain shows up in people, how it shows up in you. Um, but in recalling, healing from that thing, which was celebrating my birthday, it just was not something that I was excited about celebrating for years. And in the discovery of why, I just understood what pain was for the person that inflicted pain upon me because of the pain that they were experiencing in their own home. And I feel like in that moment was real time compassion and empathy for not only another human being, but for myself. One, it was the empathy and compassion for them because of understanding now where I am in my journey as to their pain. I couldn't see that then as a kid, or even in earlier years because I hadn't started the work. I hadn't started this process. I'm still running from pain myself. I'm still trying to figure out a lot about who I am and why I am the way I am. But in that moment of having compassion and empathy for them, I also had it for myself because now I could forgive myself for holding on to an emotion that was not really a part of me anymore. I didn't identify with that anymore. The identity of not wanting to celebrate my birthday was gone. And I'll just say that I made it a point on this past Friday to celebrate. And I think with the intention of doing that allowed for me to see. It allowed for me to have that clarity because I already had the awareness, I already have the desire to heal and do the work to do so. Because this isn't easy. This isn't easy in the least bit. You're challenging yourself to rehash, recall, dig up things that hurt you as a person, whether that was self-inflicted, whether that was inflicted by family members or just people along the life journey, places that you worked, events that you've gone to, concerts, plays, restaurants, just dealing with day-to-day life with bills and dealing with customer service and all sorts of things that plays into that. But if you want to, of course, watch that episode, I guess I'll type it. I should copy the, let me go and find that, copy that. I'll put it in the comments. We'll see how this works wherever you are that you're able to see it and go from there. Let me see if I can find that. Let's go to YouTube Studio. Here's the episode. Let's copy that. Nope, that's the content. And let's share. There you go. Now let's just drop that down in here. All right. All right, so that's there if you want to go take a look. If you're on YouTube, either Creative Journey, you're an auto enthusiast, I believe it's going to pop up for you there. I don't believe it's going to do so on Facebook because I'm not logged in or even on LinkedIn. Look, I'm coming to all of the channels today because I just figured you're probably browsing around looking at whatever it is you're looking at while you allow your food to digest on whatever the platform is. So just figured I'd go to all of them. How about that? But that was that moment. You know, that was that moment of healing and clarity then. And I'm grateful for that because it allows for me to move past the hurt, right? It allows for me to move past holding on to things that no longer resonate with me. And pain is one of those things. And, you know, oftentimes it's values or paradigms or various constructs of our communities and parents and friends and jobs and all those different things that they no longer serve us. And we have to untether from that. We have to cut that, disconnect, and become more of identifying who we are and becoming more of that person as we grow into ourselves. And we only can do that individually. As bad as we want to help someone else or try to hold other people accountable for what they're doing to inflict pain on us, inflict pain on society, we really have to start with ourselves first. That's just how I'm understanding this journey now. I have to take responsibility, accountability for myself, allow myself to have some grace and know what that looks like, not attempting to give myself grace when I'm knowingly and willingly allowing for myself to do something that doesn't resonate with me, that isn't a part of my value system, or allowing someone to be in my presence or doing things that doesn't resonate with me, not standing up for myself. I can't. give grace for that. I got to hold myself accountable. But it's a whole balance act. It really is. It really is. So what was it today? That's where I want to get to. What was it today that gave me so much clarity on some of the things that I did in my past, some of the things that I have carried with me still to this day, and how I was able to unpack that and forgive myself for that. I am reading. I'm reading a book called How We Heal. This is it right here. It's by Alexandra Elle. And I don't know if this book necessarily was, one for women, women empowerment. I'm not saying that that's what she said it is for. I don't know if that's why I'd have to go back and read the preface again. For some reason that kind of stands out to me, but I don't know. But I feel like any human being can learn a lot from this book, even if it is for women empowerment. And I'll read this little part right here where it says, self-forgiveness is the key to all forgiveness. And I think that's very, very true, just because of the example that I gave a moment ago pertaining to my birthday and understanding what happened then, and I was able to forgive not only the person that inflicted the pain, because I had compassion and empathy, understanding of the scenario looking back, and also able to forgive myself, because it wasn't that I don't believe I tried to hold myself accountable for what happened. It's just now I understand what happened. That's just what happens when you start forgiving yourself. You're not holding on to all of the junk. Life beats us up bad enough. Certain things influences decisions that we make, and we just hold ourselves accountable. We don't think about all the different things that add up to connecting the dots as to why we made those decisions. So I'll move on to the letter to self, because that's really where the breakthrough came for me this morning. So I'll just read what it says. It says, starting from scratch requires self-forgiveness. And in this exercise, you'll practice forgiving yourself. Think about a significant moment in your life that still requires your attention. For example, my letter a few years ago was focused on loving and forgiving my 18-year-old self. Maybe you were too hard on yourself for a mistake you made. Perhaps you did something you're ashamed of and haven't given yourself the grace to let it go. If you're human, it's likely you've made your fair share of mistakes and poor choices. Or perhaps you have been hurt or mistreated and you blame yourself for what happened. Dig deep here and see what comes to the surface. I encourage you to be vulnerable and address everything, from your failures to the things you can't and couldn't control, to your ability to forgive yourself. Allow every feeling that emerges to be what it will. Be raw, be vulnerable, and be honest. And then give yourself grace, compassion, and understanding. Close the letter and promise to forgive and love all the messy, tender parts of yourself, no matter what. So I'm reading that. She says, go to think of a significant moment in your life that requires your attention. Now, mind you, I've been doing a lot of work, and there's been a lot of healing, a lot of breakthroughs, and a lot of that just absolutely stems from childhood trauma. And trauma meaning just life, just things that happened in my childhood that was just a part of my life. It was just a part of my journey. So I wanted to fast forward a little bit to, maybe some more recent years in my life, where I'm still holding on to something where I haven't forgiven myself, holding on to something where I think I could have made a better decision, holding on to what I feel is the fact that I should have known better. I should have known better. And I should have had more courage, more confidence in my skills and my ability to have made the decision to go out on my own and run my player development agency and not join the Navy. That was where I found myself. I found myself in 2003, 4 joining the Navy, but 2003 going into DEP program, delayed entry program, where you've gone in, you've done your ASVAB, you do the paperwork, you go to the clinic, they do the labs and tests, and if you got to get waivers because of stupid things you've done in your past, I had to do that. I had to go all the way back down to Valdosta, Georgia to get some court documents. Oh boy, what a time. What a time. To get some court documents for something that happened. And so I could secure my waiver to say I could get into the military, because they're checking background. They're doing deep checks. Anything that was so-called sealed, expunged, all that stuff, I'm just going to let you know now. All the money that you've paid to expunge and hide mistakes from your past, it's not completely gone. Certain people may not see it, but it's not completely gone, especially when you're dealing with the eyes of the government. All right, just in case you didn't know that, I thought I'd just share that. I definitely thought all that stuff was was hidden. Anyway, so I go there, get my waiver, join the military. But before I joined the military, I have a fellow classmate that I played baseball with, CJ Stewart, played professional baseball with the Cubs organization. By this time, I am coming out of leaving college. I'm traveling, doing independent baseball. Actually, I hadn't done independent yet. I'd done collegiate summer ball, did a lot of training, had some workouts with like the Mets. At this time, I don't think I had gotten my workout with the Royals, Kansas City Royals yet. I'm sorry, New York Mets baseball team, first workout or tryout. And the next workout was with the Kansas City Royals, which was successful. That would later lead to a successful career season with them, as well as with the Braves. So in minor league ball, this was I want to say short season A ball with the Rome Braves. So good time. And I think by this time I'm catching up with CJ. I'm still training and still pursuing the dream. And he's working at a place called Sportorama in, what was it? It was in East Cobb. And man, he's sharing with me the big dreams of running his organization and, building his teams and his facility. And because I'll just tell you, when I got there, coming from Southwest Atlanta, growing up, Adamsville to College Park, the access to professional trainers and things like that wasn't looking at that, that the help and assistance wasn't what it is now. especially in our areas in the Black community, especially for baseball. That wasn't huge. And but we get there and we're at East Cobb, and it's just all this access to professional instructors and coaches, and it's just like, and I just remember us having that conversation about taking this back to our neighborhood and showing them that this access is there and this is how you get there. Is not just the hard work, but it is the access, the connections to people in the league around the nation, and especially there in Atlanta. So he lets me know about his dream. He lets me know about him starting the business. And wherever I am with life at this particular time, with bills and whatever was happening in my decision to join the military, I didn't join in with them to run the business or to start the business, as whatever it was I was going to help them with. I can't remember now. I believe it just was coming on as an instructor and just helping them with the day-to-day processes of new talent that would come in for training. And that wasn't where I was able to see myself because of where I needed to be and the benefits and security that I was going to find from joining the military. And what I'll say is, after making my time, my tenure in the military, and becoming a better human being, a better man, finding myself and going through all the challenges of travel and not travel, excuse me, going through the challenges of being a team builder, a leader, being a teammate, doing teamwork, executing all these different dynamics of structure and planning that needed to go to meet the mission, meet or exceed the mission of whatever that was. And I didn't go down range, so it wasn't about meeting the mission of infiltrating, a camp or something like that. Mine was taking care of aircraft. I came in as an aviation electrician, so I worked on FA-18. So that was my goal, making sure the aircraft was fully functional and safe for the pilots to go do their mission. And then when I cross-rated to healthcare as a pharmacy tech, so mine was taking care of, when I was in Okinawa, taking care of NICU babies, making sure that the calculations were correct for TPNs and medicines and all sorts of stuff for them and other people in ICU, and for the moms that were having the babies and have had babies in postpartum and things like that. So, and labor delivery, that's the other department I was trying to say, labor delivery and post-surgery stuff. So many different aspects. So very, very, very highly important stuff. So, meeting the mission, doing the things to do that. So as I have become the better version of myself through all of that, you get to a place where you're looking back on decisions that you made that were like, man, I should have known better. I should have had more courage, had more strength to go out on my own and become that instructor and do the thing with CJ and do all these different things that are happening now. And I had to sit there when I was writing that this morning. I had to realize a couple of different things. There was a couple of different breakthroughs that I had earlier in the year too. One of the breakthroughs was baseball wasn't my first love. Cars was my first love. I've loved cars since I was as early as I can remember. And even hearing the stories years later, hearing stories from my father about the smile on my face when he would put me in the car seat in the back of his Lincoln and we'd go for rides. He's let the windows down. I'm just smiling and looking out the window and just enjoying it. Fast forward from that to my foster parents. My foster dad always said, "Hey, Antoine, you want to go ride for a piece?" That's what he always said. And I'd be like, "Yeah, let's go." Hop in the van. And we had one of those he had two vans. He had like a conversion van. And then he had an old work van, which happened to be an old Bell South Mobility. If you're from the South, you know about Bell South, and it had the bell on the side of the van. It was really, really faded, but I could get inside of that van, and we would just sit down. We go for a ride wherever that was. If it was just to the store to get something, if it was to run to the church over there in off Sims Avenue. I think it was Allegheny Baptist Church, changed to Berean Baptist Church, whatever it was. It might have been a Saturday to go clean the church up, whatever it was. But we go for the ride. So cars was my first love. But here's what happened. I remember in middle school, I'm at Camp Creek, and I decide to join the band. Now, I wanted to play trumpet. I guess we had too many trumpet players. As a matter of fact, back up, I wanted to play drum. And I was like, that wouldn't happen. We already got a drum line, basically. So I thought about trumpet. But I think we had enough trumpet. Plus, I think it boiled down to what instruments was available. And I think it was Mr. Hall. Oh my gosh, that's his name. Mr. Hall. Jeez. Wow. How did I just remember that man's name? I can see him now. Short with that box, had the box haircut. OMG. I can't believe I just remember this man. But yeah, Mr. Hall, I remember him bringing me the baritone treble clef. So the baritone treble clef, it actually is a bigger instrument. It sits up similar to the tuba, but it's not big like the tuba where the bell comes across and over. It just points straight up. But the fingering and the keys is the same as a trumpet. So you play the same chords and everything else as the trumpet. So I learned how to play baritone treble clef. Pretty cool. And I remember talking about, my dreams and aspirations of I'm seeing like the bands play in college and high school bands playing. I can remember all these different melodies. And I believe I had that conversation with my dad. And I just remember the disappointment on his face when I said that. It absolutely hurt because I was super excited about playing in the band. So I think I spent my time trying to figure out what it was that I could do that would take away that displeasure, that moment of, I don't even know the word I'm looking for that. It's an emotion that I'm tied into that. I'll figure it out. Whatever that was, it wasn't supportive, to say the least. And I remember one spring after playing a bunch of Nintendo video games, online gaming back then was being on the phone talking to my friend with the phone on my shoulder playing the Nintendo. We hitting the warp zones on Mario Brothers and RC Pro-Am and Contra and playing all sorts of games. So this particular spring, I get, hey, we got to get you out the house. Spending too much time in the house. Now I was going outside playing anyway, but still spending too much time in the house. So they signed me up to play baseball, rec ball at Welcome All Park. And I just remember the first year, that first season, I wasn't that great. Mind you, I was 13, 14. Kids start playing baseball, softball, t-ball. I said softball, t-ball at the age of like 4 or 5. So I'm way behind the curve. But I just remember either hitting the ball or a catch, a throw. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I just remember both my mom and dad's face lighting up. I was like, this is it. I have their approval. So that ended up becoming what I thought was my first love. And I pursued it. And everything about me from that day forward was, what do I do to get better? Not knowing, this is me talking about the age of starting t-ball. is having understood that, having coached and instructed and all that stuff many years later, they never said to me, hey, you're starting behind everybody else. So don't worry that you're not up to speed with the other guys hitting home runs and hitting the ball hard and catching and being confident. Just know that you're starting late, but just give it your best and go from there. That's not the pep talk I got. So this is me years later figuring out and understanding that, man, I was way behind the curve starting to play. But needless to say, I continued through the years practicing with travel ball and training and doing everything that I could, despite not having access to all the things that they had at East Cobb and anywhere else. I can just say I did good for myself. I did pretty well for myself to play professional ball in the minor leagues. No gripe from me. But let's get past that. Let me bring you to the point. When I look back this morning to me having to challenge the thought of me joining the Navy instead of having the courage to go out on the limb with CJ, or even to recognize that I had an eye for being an instructor, because I had a kid that was around the age I started, 13, 14, that was a phenom. And I saw it and I worked with him. And it was most recently in the last 3 years that he made it to the show, to the major leagues. And when that happened, I was super proud of him. And I was happy that I saw what I saw in him then. I just didn't see it in myself for me. That was painful. So this morning, I'm challenging that thought as to, what did I know? What affected my ability to make the choice that I felt I should have made now that I look back? The other part of the coin that I wish I would have added a little earlier to the storytelling of my father, I just remember him always telling me that I needed to join the military. I need to get my priorities straight. And that was even chasing the dream of baseball. He's like, you need to get your priorities straight. You're not a baseball player. Actually, he didn't say that. I'm sorry. He didn't say I wasn't a baseball player. He was trying to protect me because of people that he knew growing up that were more talented than me that didn't make it. Now, not knowing the context of why they didn't make it, but just off sheer ability, their ability stacked up higher than mine. So therefore, if they didn't make it, there's no way I'm going to make it. So that's that's an example of someone placing their fear on you by trying to look out for you. You have to be careful with who you get your support from and information from when you're sharing your dreams. Sometimes you just got to keep them to yourself. Or just realize you may not get the support you thought you were going to get because of their fear, and their fear not having context on the reality of why something didn't happen for someone else or them versus why you have a much better shot. So to the point when my father passed in, I want to say 02 or 03. I can't remember right now. 02 or 03. I feel like it was 03. I feel like it had to have been 03. No, it was 02. It was the end of 02. So rolling into 03, I just remember, post 9/11 had happened in 01. And, I just felt like I needed to do something, number one, to show my dad that, you know what, I am a man. You know what, I do have my priorities straight. Again, I'm seeking that approval. And instead of being able to recognize my abilities as an instructor, as a coach, and even still as a player with baseball, I decided to not take the risk and go a route that would have been more pleasing to my father if he was alive. And in this case, hey, looking down on me, I want to make sure you see that I'm doing, I'm giving it my all. I'm doing the thing that you would have wanted for me to do. And now that you're gone, let me do it. I didn't recognize that until this morning. I did not recognize that the decision that I had made to join the Navy, I take that back. I recognized that earlier this year when I joined Night Owl Nation, a storytelling group of creative entrepreneurs who are looking to be vulnerable and share parts of our story, or understand what has allowed for us to develop the brands we've developed, and be able to share those stories to connect with our people. And that's whoever we're providing the service for, the brands that we've created for, those type of things. So actually, in doing these exercises, I actually was able to tell that part. I did recognize the connecting the dots between the band and baseball and pleasing my father, and even the military. So I did figure that out earlier this year. But what I didn't realize was I chose to not pursue baseball because I pursued the military because of still seeking approval. I'm telling you, when you have awareness that you're not your best self and you desire to become your best self, you have that conversation with God or whoever your higher power is, because that's what happened for me in 2008. Saw it in the journal that I wrote earlier this year. And the universe spins, starts aligning you with that desire. People start coming into your life that are helping guide you, both good and bad, to help guide you. Opportunities come up for you to make decisions, to execute on those decisions and learn from them. You're starting the healing process and you don't even know it. And you get further along in the journey and become at a place, or come to a place like today, where you're reading something like this, How We Heal. You're doing exercises like journaling in the morning and at night. And you're doing exercises in that book from people that have done the work and still doing the work. And you start finding out why you were the way you were, why you are the way you are. And you start disconnecting from the things that aren't a part of you, and you start grabbing hold of the things that are a part of you, and you start building on that foundation to becoming your best self. I've gotten past the title a long time ago, to be honest. Self-forgiveness is the gift that unlocks the ability to forgive others. Doing the work to get here, in that video that I talked about from Friday, my birthday, instantly allowed for me to forgive him for inflicting pain on me because he was in pain. But I can't have that compassion, which is one of the things that is definitely unlocked. I couldn't have empathy, which is another thing that is unlocked. I couldn't have either one of those for him, let alone even for myself, to disassociate a responsibility to something that was not mine. That does not come without forgiving yourself. And forgiving yourself doesn't happen without the healing process beginning. I don't know where you are today in the world, wherever this message is meeting, but I hope this finds you at a place where either number one, you have come to recognize that you're not your best self. And it's not that you are recognizing you are your worst self. I don't want you to continue to have that negative self-talk. Or at least, let me rephrase that. Yeah, I don't want you to continue to have it, because you challenge it by stopping that and replacing that with something more positive. It's not that you don't ever have negative self-talk. It still happens. But it's the awareness and being quickened to recognize it when it happens, to be able to change it, to pivot. But I hope wherever you are, that you are recognizing you're not your best self, and you're wanting to become it. Let me share this last thing. And something similar to this, a little memo pad, a little journal that I wrote in 2008. I'm in Okinawa, Japan. My son is 6 or 7 months old at the time. My then wife, we had not been together for several years, because when you're in the military, you have family, and you're in places that they can't come, like boot camp, like A school, C school. Because number one, you don't need the distraction. Number two, the timeline for the orders have to exceed a certain number of time or days or years. So in this case, typically, if you're temporarily assigned duty somewhere for 365 days or greater, then your dependents are authorized to come. Now they can still come, but you're not getting paid, dependent rate stuff where you are, if you would get more money there versus where the home address is. All right, just to kind of bring some clarity to that. So, I have been a geographical bachelor for those 4-5 years. And the dynamic was, I've got a newborn son and I've got a wife that I haven't lived with. So I've been by myself the whole time, and life is freaking hard. Life is difficult because, number one, I got to get in the right frame of mind that, I'm taking care of my son, trying to take care of home life with her as well as the major demands of the strenuous demands of working in inpatient pharmacy. It was tough. It was tough. I learned a lot. I definitely learned a lot. But in that time, I know I had begun drinking. I'm assuming I must have begun drinking heavily, because by this time in this journal, it reads, "Dear God, I know you have something great for me. I don't know what it is. And I know that you want me to stop drinking and smoking cigarettes." I just said, "God, please be patient with me, because I'm thinking about the stress that I'm in right now. And, my escape is drinking and smoking cigarettes. So I'm like, God, please bear with me, because I ain't going to be able to just drop that today. But I do want to. I do desire whatever it is that you have for me that is far greater than the life I'm living right now." And not saying that my life wasn't good or didn't have a roof over my head, food in the refrigerator, clothes on my back, and a car to drive. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, my personal decisions, my personal pain and trauma that I didn't recognize that's what it was called. Yeah, that has me in a space that isn't that great. So just have some grace, Lord. Give me some mercy, some compassion. Please bear with me while I try to figure out how to let all this mess go. And just give me some help. But I want it. That's basically what I said. I recognize I'm not there. I want to be there. I have something holding me back. I need your help with it. I'm not really sure I know how to let it go right now. So just be patient with me, give me some grace, and help me. I feel like in that moment, God said, bet. I got you. I got you. You know, they say be careful what you ask for when you ask God for stuff. Because the decisions that have to be made, the very, 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 very hard, difficult decisions that has to be made in the years following, is the help, the grace, the mercy, the guidance, the everything that I asked for that day that I wrote it in that journal in 2008. And mind you, I have to take a sip of this. This is Peroni. It's a beer, non-alcoholic. I still like the taste of beer. I just don't want the side effects of alcohol. So I choose to drink non-alcoholic beverages. 2020 is when life came to a screeching halt, probably for you too, about different aspects of life. And that was when the sobriety journey began. And following 2020 to 21, clarity, 22, clarity, 23, clarity, a lot of intentional execution of things that had to be done for me to get to this place in life that were very, very difficult decisions to make. But I know that me having the understanding and being in a place to be one, aware that I wasn't my best self, that I desired to become my best self. And in that desire, I asked God for help. When all of that started happening, I started having clarity. The real healing starts. The healing started then, but the real healing, the work that goes into healing now began. It was 2008 to 2020 to 2023. So all that to say, it's not an overnight thing. If you think your work that you put into healing is going to happen in 24 hours, I'm just here to tell you it's not. There's so much work that has to be done to undo the things that branded you to be who you are, the values that you aligned yourself with, the paradigms, the customs, the norms, the societal norms that you aligned yourself with. All of that has to be rebranded. You have to undo that and rebrand who you say you are and who people see you are, who people see you as. Oh yeah, don't worry about the folks from your past that still sees the old you. Don't worry about it. It's not for you to get them to see the new you if they don't choose to see it. Hold yourself accountable. Remove yourself from the environments that you need to remove yourself from so that you can become the best version of yourself. Show up for yourself, stand up for yourself. Me leaving the military, leaving the Navy was the best thing that I could have done to start this journey. I thought I was just leaving to start my player development agency. No, that was just some guy used to get me out the Navy, but it truly was helping me with the thing that I asked him for in 2008. To help me live a life of sobriety, no cigarettes, no alcohol, have clarity, and do the work that he has for me. You know what that work is? Creating content that heals. It's this right here. It's filmmaking. It's the stuff I do with cars for YouTube, the stories behind the cars, the people. Cars are amazing. Love them. But it's the story of even how the person either acquired it or just the reason that they have it and what that means to them and their success and their journey. That's the thing that God was showing me or had shown me was the other side of 2008. Oh, don't get it twisted. I am not all the way there yet. But I am so glad to be right here. I am so grateful to be right here. Wherever you are, whatever pain you're in, I empathize with you because I've been there. And it seems like there's some days it seems like it's got you so tight that the only way to get out from under it is to make a permanent decision for what is truly temporary. I ask you to give yourself another shot. If you don't have a higher power, you don't rely on God, or even if you do rely on God, give them a chance. Your higher power, God, for me, Jesus Christ. You have to believe that you can get past where you are. Start finding a quiet place. Just get in a place, turn everything off, close your eyes, allow your senses to take effect. I even do it with you right now. I'm gonna close my eyes and take a deep inhale through my nose. Hold it for a few seconds. Deep exhale out of my mouth. Do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Just take a moment to take in the stillness and quiet as much as you can. Just listen. Think about what you're hearing, what you're smelling, what you're touching, Your feet touching the ground, what you're sitting on, wind blowing, if you can feel that, what you're tasting, if you're eating, chewing gum. And try to just visualize where you see yourself beyond where you are now. All right, let's get ready to take a deep breath in. Exhale. And open your eyes. Look, I'll be the first to tell you I'm not a practitioner, therapist, psychiatrist. I don't do breath work as far as teaching it, yoga, any of that stuff, but I can tell you I practice it. That's another one of those things that you're going to have to find something that allows for you to find some peace, some quiet, to be present and allow for yourself to see yourself on the other side of wherever you are right now. That's the only way you become aware. That's the only way your awareness leads to your desire to be your better self, become your best version, and then clarity along the way. Hope you all have a great day. I appreciate you for taking time to watch. I look forward to reposting this on each platform after I edit it. So if it's there shortly after I end this, then I'll probably take that down and edit. Then again, I might just leave it. We'll see. I would like to edit it now. So, but whenever you're watching this, thank you for tuning in. I look to do more of these, of course. I look to do a lot more of these, not just lives, but podcasts are being recorded. There's a channel, Undo LR. It's UNDO. Actually, it's the channel. It's called Undo Life Rebranded. So it's Undo. Typing it in right now. Life Rebranded. There's nothing up yet. But yeah, Undo Life Rebranded. Yeah, there's nothing there yet. But like I said, podcast episodes have been recorded. We're just working on getting some more content so we can put a back-to-back episodes up for a complete season. And there's a lot to take from that. I share more. I get a little bit more in depth with my personal journey, just to provide some transparency. Look, you're not by yourself. I'm not too proud to share very, very specific things that have happened in my life, as long as I know that God is guiding me with sharing that information and it's going to help someone. You're not by yourself. Just because I am in this particular place absolutely doesn't mean I haven't been through where you are. And if you are in this space, continue the healing journey and be a light for someone else, other people around you to see, so that they have the opportunity to become aware of where they are in their journey and the desire to heal and have clarity. I'm signing off. I appreciate it. See you all next time. Salute.